Hi, this is Tom Broussard. It's Tuesday, March 24th. Looks like there's some new buttons on the YouTube channel, so hopefully I don't miss something and it just flies off. Nice to see everybody. It is the first time since the virus started, so we are in for a long haul, I am sure. But clearly, we can't just not do something, so people with stroke and aphasia have to do something all the time. Otherwise, we're not going to get what we need. So here we go in our new world. But I am good to see everybody. It was very interesting because I couldn't go to the gym because of the virus. But we have nice weather here in Florida and walking all the time. I have to get up early before it gets too hot. So I started walking. And it reminded me a lot of all the walking I did after my stroke, because you might remember my wife and I both worked at the same university. I was a dean there when I had my stroke. Laura worked in another department in the campus, but we used to walk there too all the time. And when after my stroke and after I got better enough that Laura could go back to work, I started walking. And that's the way it feels now. I've been walking now for a couple of weeks. Since all this started, and I started feeling like it felt to me back then, because I was basically all alone when you're by yourself anyway, and I was thinking about what I was thinking about and started creating some new ideas about what I could use now, talking about what I talked about then too. So that's how this all got started. And this particular video is really sort of starting, not over, because all of this talk I've been talking about plasticity for several years, but starting anew with Plasticity Ink. And I did talk about that a couple of weeks ago, about the Polygraph from George Washington, from Thomas Jefferson's house, with that polygraph that actually does let him write a second letter, duplicating the first letter with a second one. And I use that as a metaphor. So this is really the beginning of people understanding that this is a metaphor of how plasticity works. By virtue of writing with one hand, creating with another hand, on the inside, the now neuro words, the energy that comes from the outside, writing it onto the inside with Plasticity Ink. So that is the metaphor of all of this. And it is interesting because all of this started, when it comes to plasticity, with William James. And I'll talk about him over the years too, because now that I can't go out talking, visiting, traveling, I'm probably going to start to do maybe 2 articles and videos a month instead of 1. Last year I tried to do 1 every week, and I couldn't do that either. So I'll start maybe with 2. And I'll start to talk about people like William James, who is the author of The Principles of Psychology. He wrote that book in 1890. Yeah, 1890, long time ago. 1,200 pages. Took him 12 years to write that down. And he is the one who started talking about plasticity, wrote about it a lot. And chapter 4, if you get a copy of that, it is entitled Habit. And he talked a lot about plasticity and basically how he could see how the brain was working, as you and I now see how it works. But now looking for a metaphor that quickly, using Plasticity Ink, you can, oh, that is how it works, as opposed to asking you to read a 1,200-page book. Tome, as they say. So that would be a lot to ask of a lot of people. But by virtue of this video and the article that will come out as a result of this, it allows people to better understand fairly quickly that plasticity and Plasticity Ink is the capacity of delivering the energy from the outside with reading, writing, speaking, practicing every single thing, all of it being highly therapeutic, whether it is in a therapeutic session or not. You're doing it at home, you're doing it with your friends, playing cards. We talked about that the last time. All of those activities are just as highly therapeutic as if you were in a therapeutic session. And that is also very important because even today with the virus, you might have less time to be with your individual speech language pathology. You'll probably spend less time with your group. Last time I did it was with the group. We're not going to do the group for a month or 2 or 3 or however long it takes. And as a result, they were very therapeutic when we were with each other because there was a lot of good conversations and conversations between all of us. Now we have to figure out another way to continue to stimulate the activity, the reading, writing, speaking practice that allows all of us to continue to understand that if we do those things, we will get better. That is the way it works. So we need to create those activities that we otherwise have been using with the therapeutic community. We will continue to do that with them, but more and more it will be online, not unlike this. That means more and more it's online, and it stimulates activity whether you're in a session, therapeutic session or not. So even this, I would like to say more than this, this is what we do. If we listen to it, read about it, understand it, read other things about one issue or another, all of this does what it does to create more activity for the brain, to create more, as we've talked before, more dendrites and synapses. So I'm sorry to hear, of course, about the world that we have today, but it is our world and we got to figure this out. So I will do more work with all of us so we can better understand it, how it works for us, with understanding how our brain works after a stroke and now dealing with the issues of aphasia. But we can do that for sure. And I do appreciate you guys. So many people have been viewing all of my videos. So I do appreciate that as well. All right, I will see you soon, whenever that soon is, but sooner than a month. And we'll talk about the next step of what I've been thinking about as I've been out there walking about the virus, and really just giving me the opportunity to spend all that extra time of thinking while walking. And I think that all is very important for all of us. So good luck out there, and I will see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.